Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to yet another rugby webinar in our series this year. Today, we're talking about mastering stakeholder communication in ITSM. I am really happy to have our very own Rina Neer, as CEO of Redby and project manager of Jira Snapshots, with me. And we have a special guest today from our partner Swarmit, which we've collaborated with before. Today we can welcome Xenia Schmidt with us. She is the Atlassian consultant in Swarmit and can help us talk to us about all the pitfalls and ups and downs and give us all her secrets while managing stakeholder communication in ITSM. Having said that, I'm going to hand it off to Rina. Have fun.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. The preparation of this webinar was really an interesting experience for me because I'm not working or I'm not a consultant for JSM every day. So it involved a lot of brainstorming, preparation, background, and I'm super excited with what we came up with. So I'm very happy to have you here. Handing over to Xenia, if you can shortly present yourself and take it over.
Thanks a lot, Rina. I also can really agree that the webinar preparation was quite extensive. I think we covered a lot of new topics, like also something going towards a trend, and not only showing from a JSM point of view, but also like using some additional tools to help strengthen what JSM is not able to provide. And here, I'm Xenia Schmidt. I bring in the expertise from the Atlassian universe, especially for the Jira Service Management. I work for Swarmit, which is an Atlassian Platinum partner with a proven track record of our clients who trust us with their ITSM projects. So we bring this mission of driving organizations' efficiency and spark innovation into this webinar. And today, on the next slide, ta-da! We have enterprise service management, which is also basically facing the ITSM. So basically, enterprise service management is the ITSM of the organization. And we are facing myriads of challenges that directly impact the IT service management's workers. Here, as you can see, some of the keywords that are incorporated into these challenges. We have artificial intelligence, we have DevOps, then Agile, ITIL4. So everything comes into this bumble of IT and enterprise service management, which offers numerous benefits, but also presents, again, the challenge there. So first of all, we have integration complexity between all. We have the cultural shifts. We have alignment of practices, also resource constraints because IT is shifting away or outsourced. We have change management, process complexity, and much more topics that I can talk for another webinar. And overcoming these challenges require strategic planning and effective communications, which we are going to cover today, especially stakeholder and shareholder engagement, and a commitment for this continuous learning of the organization, and also improve of the entire organizational scale in this respect. And we will cover, and I will bring Rina back to our video view, the enterprise service management in 2024, as we already just picked out some of the things. We will highlight some of the use cases, which Rina, I'm glad you can take over from here and guide us there.
Will do. And I just want to say that the reason that I selected this illustration for this slide is because what caught my eye, especially in what everybody talks about in service management today, is the centrality of the workplace experience. So the workplace experience needs to be in our focus, and that is correct for agents, but it's also very much correct to our the different people in the organization that receive the service from the enterprise service management desk, and for managers as well. So you have these different people, and somehow you need to cater for everybody's needs, and we'll try to really cover several aspects of that here today. So better workplace experience is the top thing, a collaborative, people-centric approach. We are very friendly, although we are in a very tool-excessive world. Everybody, there are so many tools around, but they are all about making the people experience great. And then coming from Agile are two notions that I really like, which is continuous improvement. So you are a service management operation. How can you make each day better than the day before? That's a very strong theme that we are thinking about. And the shift left, and this is a buzzword, we'll go into that later. Don't ask yourself where left to where, we'll answer this later. And tooling, of course, as I mentioned, tools are a big part of how we make service management happen in a very smooth way. And of course, our star of the show is Jira Service Management and Confluence, but also Jira, just normal Jira, because every service management team has also this continuous operation that is driven by tasks and stories and things that are not the ongoing service grind. And this yellow logo is Jira Snapshots. This is the new tool that I want to add to the mix, which comes from Radby, and I'll show you how it can actually add some spice to your service management operation. So the webinar today is built around 3 acts, and 3 acts, I basically mean that we found 3 specific down-to-earth use cases where you can leverage the Atlassian tools and Jira Snapshots to make service management happen in a way that is corresponding with all the modern trends, will make your staff happier, you make your service management more efficient, and generally save time and get you further in business. So the first part is how we promote transparency and trust. Second point will be about post-incident reports and how we make sure that it's not just a buzzword or another task that we have, but something that really drives improvement. And the last point will be shift to the left. What does it mean in service management and how do we make it happen? And this webinar is also full of demos and really down-to-earth technical things. So without further ado, I will actually share my screen now and move to our very first demo. Let me see if this works. Yes, this works. And how not? In a JSM webinar, the very first screen share is the customer portal. Our customer, even if it's an internal user inside the organization, is king. And the portal is where we can have a lot of opportunity to create trust, transparency, and also create a great experience for our users. And what you see here is basically the default, almost the default setup for a JSM portal. But what we added here are in the very top 2 important links that allow everybody in the organization to know what is happening behind the scenes. So this top area here is something where we customized. This is just a ready customization from Jira Service Management, where you can add announcements to the service desk. And the 2 announcements that we chose to put here as a permanent issue are links to all the open incidents and link to all our post-incident reviews that are ongoing. So let's see how it works. And this basically goes to Confluence, the knowledge base space. So anybody, even if they don't have license to Jira and they don't have license to Confluence, but they do have access to your portal, and through that portal they have access to your knowledge base, they will be able to see the open incidents. So and this is actually a table that in real life shows any user who wants to go through that link which are the open incidents that are currently open in your organization. This table is the first time in this webinar that I show you a Jira snapshot table. So this snapshot table was taken at a specific point of time. So it was taken just a few minutes ago, and it shows what the Jira service management team chose to share with the organization. So we have here a certain filter that works and selects from Jira the issues that are ongoing incidents or such incidents that were just updated, and the different fields that we have chosen to share. And the nice thing about this table is that what shows up in this table, as well as the different fields, is totally in the control of the service management team. We control the layout, and we just configured it once, and from that moment, it automatically updates itself every so often. If I want to update it now, for example, I will just take a snapshot. This is a manual operation, but this snapshot specifically is also updated automatically, and we'll go into that detail a little bit later. I'll show you how to set up snapshots so that they are updated automatically in any frequency that we want, or in response to any event that happens in our service management. Very quickly, just to show you how this is configured on this page, I move to edit because I do have access edit to this page. And the Jira snapshot table is one macro that we added to this page. And this macro basically is configured once. And the configuration for this macro is straightforward. There is a filter that I populated here inside the search JQL. This filter defines which issues are brought from Jira into Confluence. And then there's the list of fields that we decided on, and also the fact that we are sorting so that the major incidents are on the top. Once it's configured, and it can happen a week ago or a year ago, from that moment on, it's just autopilot. The incidents view will always be up to date, and anybody who approaches our portal has access to this information. The second link that we put in our service desk is the post-incident review. We'll talk a little bit more about post-incident review in the next use case, but the point here about putting them in the portal is that we want to show our organization that we are open about what we did with each and every major incident that happened. And this transparency is created by the fact that you don't need to be a manager. You don't need to be someone who is involved in taking action about the post-incident review. You just need to access the portal, and you'll see what we have to say about our past incident and what are the lessons that we learned. Okay, so this was the first demo. I'll go back to the presentation, and just go over to the post-incident review and hand over to Xenia. Take it from here.
Thank you. So there we actually covering something what Jasrina showed, which is a little bit of a limitation of JSM. So you have the license of an agent, and then everyone else who has access to it would have to need a different license. So there you're obviously Confluence covering more people to show it. So great example. And also just to give you a bit on shine a spotlight on the critical process of post-incident reviews, because not everyone might do it with that extent. And also here, it's a standard reporting Jira service management, but with its limitations. So what we can create with Snapshot is much more depth and diversity of information. And the so-called PIR offers a valuable opportunity for the team or for the management to come together and a deep dive into the nitty-gritty details of the incident, why it occurred, its impact, the stage taken to resolution, most impacted services, or how they prevent it in the future. While resolving an incident shifts the key to minimize disruption, conducting a thorough post-incident review shifts the focus from this frustration moment where this occurred to the opportunity for improve, and also helps you for the future to empower team to stop either to the repetition of the incident or to reduce in general the time to resolution for the future. And also, furthermore, what also Snapshot will show you in a bit more when you show the demo is the formal documentation of post-incident reviews, which allows the team to contribute their insights and foster like trust and resilience within the team. And beyond the internal benefits, also the stakeholders such as partners, customers, user may also seek transparency, as you saw it's directly on the portal. And they want regarding the incidents, improvements, also changes that have been made for future not occurring it. So in summary, to summarize, the PIR aren't just a box to tick after an incident. Okay, we have reviewed it. They are like a virtual component of the ITSM lifecycle, driving basically continuous improvements and enhancing stakeholder communication and ultimately supporting the reliability and trustworthiness of the service, which is always a great kind of target to meet. And here, I think now is the time to go into the sandbox and show how it works, because I think it's quite an interesting case to review. So Rina, up to you.
Okay, so thanks, Xenia. What I first of all, I was super excited to see that in the default JSM setup today, Atlassian has basically split the queues into the ITIL topics, and one of them is a post-incident review. So out of the box, you get a separate queue for post-incident reviews, and also an issue type in Jira, and the layout, and even if you look here, this whole template of lead up, fall detection, root causes, and all that stuff is actually a default setup out of Atlassian, and it's very cool because it really drives best practice. But I also noticed that post-incident reviews, by their nature, they are driving activity for the long term. So in opposed of service management classical issues where you need a solution within hours, in reviews, the conclusion of the reviews will take weeks, months to solve. And you need to have robust project management practices there to solve them. And they also propagate into other projects and other teams, and are not confined to the agents of the service management. So how do we make sure that we have this robust status management? Let us say one of the best tools to enforce tracking of actions is Jira snapshots. This is another snapshot that we defined for post-incident reviews. This time, it's more detailed than the one that we share with everybody. So this is the page that is part of the Confluence knowledge base space, where we basically give the description and the high-level view of the post-incident review, which we share with everybody in the organization. We don't use it to do the follow-up on the peer. This page is in another space altogether. It's the Space Tech Excellence, which is basically what our Center of Excellence to Better ITSM is using. And this report has two hierarchies. On the left side, you see the peer itself with whatever we decided in the review and all the background. And on the right side are the actual granular tasks that are assigned to different people in the team. So I'll just show you exactly how it is related to what exists in Jira. If you go to this one inside Jira, this is a post-incident review, and it created two different tasks. One is in our people operation project, and the second one is in our SecOps project. So 3 teams now are involved in solving the issues that are raised by this peer. The people operations, the SecOps operations, and of course, Jira Service Management team as the team that drives this improvement. So it's a pretty complex situation to do status across so many teams. And with the hierarchy being somehow in Jira, Jira Snapshots allows you to very easily bring this hierarchy into one status report and just follow through in an easy way. Every time that I take a snapshot, all the most updated information about all this different complex tree of actions that are all driven from peer comes to life. Two interesting points here. As Xenia mentioned, this data can be shared with anybody or can be viewed by anybody who has access to Confluence, even if they don't have access to Jira. And who knows better that executives and top management very often are very interested in following up that we have indeed solved our post-incident reviews conclusions, but on the other side, they don't go to Jira. And this is kind of a very digestible way for them to see in one report what's the status for each post-incident that is being processed. The second point I want to make here is that we connected this page into Confluence automation, and every day there's a new snapshot happening here automatically, including an update being sent automatically from Confluence to all management. So that is kind of a way to keep everybody on their toes and keep focus on continuous improvement. Okay, let us see how this snapshots is actually configured. So it's very similar, but different from the previous snapshot. Here you have 2 levels because we have the hierarchy that we wanted to capture within the status. The first level is again a JQL. So anybody with ability to define JQLs or any access to a filter can use it directly to define a page that gets all the post-incident reviews from Jira and the different fields that we want to show in this particular report. And then the second level is basically showing all the issues that are linked to the first level issues by created. So it shows all the issues that were created by the post-incident reviews, and it picks them up from anywhere else that they are existing in Jira. Okay, so this is just quickly showing back what the actual report looks like. Again, to drive home the fact that we have here 2 levels. On the left level, we have the post-incident reviews themselves. And on the right side, we have where all the actual tasks that are assigned to the different projects and the different teams are viewed. So, for example, this incident review has driven 2 tasks, and we can clearly see them here and what is the status for them exactly. Okay, now I'll very quickly show you how I use automation to create this snapshot or to refresh it every day. Because of course I don't want it to be in my to-do list. That's why we are in 2024 and everything should be automatic. So the first thing is that each snapshot macro itself has an automation hook, which is basically a webhook that you can activate. It's not activated by default, but it's just a matter of clicking the button and then you get the webhook activated. And once this webhook is activated, you just take advantage of a Confluence automation. And by the way, this can be done also with Jira automation. So either Jira automation or Confluence automation. But here I just did it with automation, with a Confluence automation. This one is the rule that triggers a snapshot every day. So it's a pretty simple rule. And I think that the Confluence automation and Jira automation are really, really cool, very accessible. You don't need to be an expert in programming or something to trigger a rule. So the rule that I set here is just automatic schedule. Every day at 11 o'clock, there's new snapshot being taken. So this is the schedule. And then the only thing that needs to happen here, I need to plug here the web URL that I got from my Jira snapshot, enter the credentials that I got there, and that's it. So it's the simplest rule in the world, and I use it pretty often to just make sure that the snapshots are refreshed. And then because snapshots are so closely integrated with Confluence, each time that there is a snapshot, there's a new version of the page. And so if someone is watching this page, sorry, I lost my page, I'll go back to that. If someone has decided to watch this page, they will automatically get every day an update about where our post-incident review stand. And that's follow-up for you. And when such a follow-up is happening in an organization, we can know that we learn, we improve, and we get better every day. Okay, now I am back to the last use case that we wanted to cover today. Xenia, over to you.
Yep. Thanks, Rina. I think you showed very nicely how you give more empowerment to the team, that also transparency, they have the transparency, especially for non-tech users, is quite a thing to be able to have access to that. Also, like on the management level, that are not really having time for getting into the technical stuff. And in the third example, we'll actually explore the concept of shift to left, which comes a little bit like a result from this empowerment of the user. And also its implications on service desk management. Let's say traditionally, service desks have been viewed as a go-to place solely for technical usage. So your computer breaks down, something happens, you report it. However, with the evolution of automation we just saw and general elimination of the technical depth, the focus of service desk is shifting towards providing customer-centric support for both for the people, also for the business needs, not only technical driven. I would say it become a vital meeting point between users and services where matters are arranged, explained, and also coordinated, rather than just fixing broken technology, let's say. Frontline support staff often is overwhelmed with the amount of queues and the delays maybe, and they are adapting to this shift, basically, just to also take off the pressure for the one team who needs to deliver everything for the organization. And also the non-technical user or the non-technical teams, let's say from HR to legal to facility, are also embracing service management practices for starting with the service desk to be able to handle these times also through it. They seek the IT solution to manage high volumes of requests and also streamline processes that demand speed and accuracy. To manage the flow of work efficiently, we say, we can apply the concept of a value stream to the service desk with a shift to left. Let's say identifying, eliminating bottlenecks, as you have it on the service desk nowadays. And automation and also the self-service play a pivotal role in deflecting requests, allowing support agents to focus on higher value tickets than dealing with something that they might not be specialized in. And additionally, by bringing issue resolution closer to the customer through self-service portals and knowledge base like access, as we saw also here in this webinar by Rina, we can enhance the customer experience and reduce the, let's say, the support backlog that it's building up. And then, as we said several times, empowering the non-tech teams with service management capabilities, foster the collaboration and the efficiency across the organization. So if we go to the next and the next slide, and let's say in summary, embracing the shift to the left in ITSM means redefining the service desk as a customer-centric, I will call it hub. It's a bit more like a fitting word for addressing a wider range of needs, also beyond this technical issues. And also the automation part, it drives it even further, that self-service and like the lean and the agile mindset can be the enhance of efficiency, improving customer satisfaction and drive innovation for the service delivery, not only focusing on delivered by the IT service team. That's why I think it's a beautiful example that we can also cover with Snapshot, how to even further drive this shift to the left activity in your organization. And here I hand over back to Rina to show you something concrete in the demo.
Okay, thank you. So in this whole, well, shift to the left is a very risky thing in the sense that it's a buzzword. It's a notion. Everybody likes to say shift to the left, shift to the left. How do you actually make it happen in your organization every day, that everybody is conscious of what they can do to actually deflect more requests or use the minimal amount of resource to answer requests when they come in, and to create this culture. This culture, I think, in my view, needs to be centered on the empowering the agent, because these are the people that actually see everything in action. They are living this day in and day out, and they can see everything every time that there is an opportunity for something that they should not have done, if there would be a better article, if there would be better training, if there will be better tool. So in order to do that, we created a small automation, and I'll actually share it with you now. So yes, back to my automation and Jira and snapshots as a way to empower the team to make sure that shift to the left is not only a buzzword, but actually happens in our organization. This is a request. And within the flow of Jira Service Management, we have planted a small seed that grows into our shift to left trend. So when I, as an agent, resolve an issue, I get a screen, and of course, most of it is pretty standard. I need to say what resolution was applied here, what's the conclusion of this. But what we did in our case, we added two fields. One field is actually for the agent to say whether the knowledge base article or articles were effective. We know that Jira Service Management out of the box gives you some kind of a report to indicate to what extent knowledge base articles were effective, but it's not precise enough for us. We decided to really hone on making knowledge base articles effective, and we want agents to be able to mention, for example, that knowledge base were only partial effective while they could be more effective. And here at this point, when I just close the issue and I know what was taking from me and from the organization to resolve the issue, I can write what are my thoughts about how to do shift to the left so that the next time that someone comes in the door with this question, they need less of my time. And once we do that, and I will just quickly write here something. Once I resolve the issue and I have completed these two fields, if there was an idea that I expressed there, then what automatically happens, and this is again a Jira automation setup here, an issue is created in our internal project. So the linked issue that was created here is this one, and it has a summary which I decided on. It's just an S to L idea from, and this is the summary of the original status, original ticket that caused this idea to become alive. And whatever I wrote there as my input is captured here. And that is basically falling directly into our backlog. So we empower agent to push ideas directly to the backlog of our old team to see how we make shift to the left happen. And of course, this is not something that happens every day, meaning it's not something that is going to be closed in an hour because it's not an incident, but it is kind of a long-term process of continuous improvement. That's the meaning of continuous improvement. You have ideas, and then you make sure that you follow up on these ideas through the backlog. And like every good status report, it can be generated in a snapshot. And this is another snapshot report that is focused on our shift to the left stories. There's a criteria here where we look specifically on our shift to the left stories, and we have a 2-level hierarchy in this snapshots again, where the right side shows the original ticket that triggered the action item, as well as any other linked story. So for example, this one, I just want to show the hierarchy here. If we go into Jira, we see this was a story that was created automatically, and it created an action in another team. So this as well is surfaced by Jira snapshots. And I will just very quickly, because I did implement here an automation in Jira, I will very, very quickly show the automation rule and give a pointer to people. I just love it how from the ongoing action inside Jira Service Management on the day-to-day, we create things for the backlog. So here is my rule. When issue is transitioned into resolve, if it's in the right issue type, and I actually had something about the knowledge base being effective or not, and I had an idea, then it creates an issue to the backlog. So that's meaning I love it because you empower agents to push activities to the backlog without wasting their time. So yes, I will go back to the slides and hand over back to you, Saskia.
Thank you very much, both of you, to Rina, to Xenia, to sharing all your knowledge and your input. For everybody who wants to reach out to Xenia now, please scan that QR code, reach out to her. You can also find her on LinkedIn. Obviously, if you click on our event, she's marked there as a speaker, so reach out to her. First of all, I want to reach out to you because I have some questions. So while I was listening to you, I was thinking, like, it sounds like such a no-brainer, so to speak. It facilitates the communication between everybody who's working on that project. Automation obviously saves time and headache. So we have a lot of advantages in facilitating those incident reports. So the question that I have is, from your opinion, why do we still need to have that webinar? Why isn't everybody already doing it?
That's a good question.
I think that generally in organization, following through never is an easy thing to do. So just generally speaking, to be a good project manager is not obvious. Well, that's a general answer, but I don't have a better one. Maybe Xenia, you have a.
Yeah, I would say it from different perspectives. It's always the amount of things that an agent is already doing. Also, the management of managing the team is already doing. To make it even more extensive, you need more resources and more time. And by this, also like showing today in today's webinar how they can do it in a bit of automated, a bit of an easier way to facilitate that, because everyone knows that's a no-brainer, you're right, but to do it you need resources, you need the time and capacity to facilitate it into your daily work routine. And I guess managers, they have to do some sort of reporting showing how the team is performing, but I think with these tools you can do it to such an extent that you really, with like kind of a little mouse click, of course you have to set it up, and but it's much easier than if you would just do it just from scratch, by yourself. Yeah, that would be, I think, some sort of explanation that I hear from clients, or I can also, for me, it's rather logical too.
Yes, it looks like a valid direction to me in terms of answer.
Do we have more questions, Saskia? I cannot see if there's in the chat something came up. If not, you have a chance to raise a question in the chat.
Exactly. Please go ahead while we're still on. Please go ahead and ask your questions that came up during the recording. I actually still have another question in the meantime. Well, with Redbee, we work together with a lot of clients in the medical industry. Xenia, I know also where you're based in Switzerland. You work a lot with the financial industry and insurance industry. So both of those industries have a lot of regulation going on, how we need to do things, how we need to provide certain things. From your aspect, the system you just presented and having kind of that automation approach in ITSM, how does that facilitate the work from your side, especially in those regulated industries? Where's the twist for them?
I mean, the regulation is going towards information security. So what is shared in these tickets, what is also displayed in reports. I think there we have to start much earlier than at the moment of reporting. We need to first define a baseline, which information belongs in a ticket, what can be displayed, how sensitive it is. And I think when we arrive at the moment of the reporting, this information does not prohibit or is not going against any regulation. So I think there the moment needs to be much earlier to be taken into account. To also, what is reported is also mainly the performance of the tickets, where an incident happens is system-wise. So I think there it's more to focus on from what we showed today. I know that Rina also have some of your client users that are in the medical industry quite strongly. So do you have something additional there to share?
I just want to say that a continuous improvement is an interesting topic in the sense that at least in medical device and pharmaceutical, in the quality management system, the idea that you continuously improve is very much promoted there, and is closely linked to a lot of documentation and paperwork and things that they need to show. Yes. Now, DevOps has brought that very much into the forefront from a totally different direction, from the direction of being more efficient, etc. Because regulations typically tend to be looked as burdensome and bureaucratic, etc. And I just find this convergence very, very fascinating. And here we have a super modern tool that actually helps organization achieve one of the key objectives of the regulatory framework, and that is to actually implement and drive continuous improvement in the organization. And let's say you saw post-incident reviews here. If someone knows what kappas are in exactly post-incident reviews, just another name to the same thing.
So the system is easily transferable to other frameworks who actually require exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
It seems both of you have left us with no questions left. You have done a very extensive presentation of how to set that up, how to do that. So I'd say let's call it a day for now. Redby will be back with other webinars, so look out for them on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Also check out our other webinars that are already published on different topics. We're starting to have quite a library there. Xenia, for you, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for sharing everything that you know, everything that you can tell us about, tell us the stories, tell us your experience. I think we took a lot away from you, from your words today. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure for me as well. Thanks for organizing the webinar, and also to Rina for showing the use cases, and thanks for our audience for the participation. So we're looking forward to stay connected if that will be possible. Thanks a lot.
Again, scan the QR code, reach out to her on LinkedIn, and see you in our next webinar. Bye.
See you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.